to the podcast of iPen Magazine. My name is Joanne Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan, and this is Let's Talk About It. And today we're talking about resilience.
Yes. How do you stay resilient? And what is resilient?
How about you tell me what it is first?
That's right. In order for us to say how we're going to get there and how we're going to maintain
we need to know what it is.
Let's clear the air. Now, to be resilient simply means to be able to stand or to recover quickly from any downfall or difficult situation.
Okay.
We have a lot of those, right?
Okay.
And
so if you're falling, get back up.
That's it.
Okay.
So we know that it's inevitable to not have some challenges, to not have some difficulties. Things are going to go wrong. So how do you prepare ahead of time so that when a challenge does take place, that you're prepared to get back up and start again?
And you know what's on my mind as you say that? I'm thinking of all the things that you really have no control of. That you know, it's different when you know that I'm going to stick my finger in this electric socket and see if I get shocked. Well, then you know that you have done it to you. You know, but there are so many things that are not that simple to look at. You know, we can't automatically look at some of the things that go on, especially in our adult world. We just can't look at so many things and say, this is going to come and this is going to happen and I'm going to be ready for it. There are so many things that we're just not ready for, but we have to react in a manner that takes it in and we turn it around.
Well, what we do is build up these things not for a specific thing. We're not saying if somebody were to crash in a car. We're not talking about if someone gets ill. We're saying that the mentality that we have as a person that's always positive, always have that bounceability on any given situation, because we had the Girl Scout code, because we had the Christianity upbringing. All of those things are what builds resilience.
And not only that, I've always been one that I go back again to the job that I had, and it didn't matter what they put on you on a memo today. You were guaranteed tomorrow that memo was going to change. And so the only thing that was inevitable was the change. It's going to happen. So if you think about things that way, and you think about the fact that it has nothing to do with you, it has nothing to do with anything that you could have had control of, and you automatically think, let me think of the positive out of all of this. Let me think of the way that I can get around this. Let me look for the opposite of this. And you kind of build a resilience. You do. You don't get frustrated anymore when you know that the memo that you sent out didn't go where it was supposed to go. You don't get upset about the phone call that you missed or the time that has been changed. And no one told you. You know, you don't get worried about the little things, because there are so many bigger things that you just can't change at all. So the little things, stop letting the little things reduce you.
There were two words that you said that stood out. One was to be positive, and the other one was to be flexible. Because when you become so rigid, and people that work alone, live alone, they are so accustomed to everything being
going
order.
The same way.
And when that doesn't happen, there's a term called get bent out of shape. And so
quickly.
You know, but because of the fact that you were accustomed to that schedule change
every day,
that was just something that was just let's
Joanne,
be ready for
I
it.
had never been in a place where every day there was a change. Even with the schedule might be 10 minutes off. You know, you'd be like, well, aren't we supposed to be doing? No, not yet. You know, so the schedule would be 10 minutes off. Or if there was a change in what was being done the day before, you get this memo saying tomorrow you're going to be doing this. And you come in and the only thing that was inevitable was change. So it got to the point where instead of being frustrated about the change or instead of being upset about the change, you just go along with it. If this is what it's going to be, let's get through these 8 hours and make it do what it do.
Yes.
And that's it. Not getting worried about it, because if you get worried about it, you only frustrate yourself, because it's going to change.
Yes.
It's going to, there's a change, and it's going to be that way.
And it's called being okay with being uncomfortable.
I'm okay.
This might make me uncomfortable because I thought that I was going to be the next person to speak. So now I'm the 5th person. That's okay.
And look for the bright side, because if I'm the next person to speak, and they come and say, "Oh no, you won't go first. You're going to go 5th." Mm-hmm. That gives me more time to brush up on whatever it is I'm speaking on, and that gives me more time to kind of calm down and relax my nerves. Mm-hmm. That gives me a little bit more room. And sometimes we don't always think about the things that the alternate is going to give us. We always look at it and say the alternate is going to make a problem. No, look at it as the alternate may very well be a good thing for you.
Yes.
It may very well be what you need at that moment.
Yes.
I need it to be delayed. I'm running late and they didn't start on time. Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So you have to think about the positive in it and be ready for whatever the situation is.
And that's called stepping back and thinking about what can you gain, and having a larger perspective out of what is taking place on the now.
And don't resist the change.
Yeah.
Don't resist it.
Yeah.
Because even if you want to argue the point, even if you want to say, well, I have to do it this way, or it's got to be done that way, if you're not the one in authority, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
So you might as well just go ahead with it.
Yes.
And be okay.
And there are just certain careers that you're accustomed to that, and you've already pointed out your past. Well, I was a past event planner. You know that there is no event that is written from the beginning
to the end. That goes
that's going to go there.
Exactly.
And when it does, you think something's wrong, because it's like, what? You're going to have an outdoor activity and now it's going to rain. You're going to have an indoor activity and now that venue has changed. The dress didn't show up on time. So there are some positions that you can connect to and say, these are people that are completely fine.
Yes. And
they can still live
and you still do what you have to do.
Yeah.
The thing about it is positive thinking. Positive thinking has always been the better choice.
Yes.
Don't get bitter about what little changes are. Don't get bitter. I can remember, like you said, doing events and doing event planning, and I can remember everybody was sharp. We were ready for this wedding, and we're waiting on the bride to come in, and everything is fine, and we got to line up the flower girl and the groom. And he must have been about 4 or 5 with no socks. With no socks. Mm-hmm. So everybody was going crazy. What happened to his socks? What happened? And all I kept saying to him was, who's looking at his feet?
Yeah.
No one.
And if so, what happens?
The picture is going to be on his face.
Yes.
The picture is going to be about that ring that he's carrying. Mm-hmm. Let's not make a big deal about a little situation.
Let's be flexible.
Let's be flexible. Let's be okay. Bounce back. Mm-hmm. Bounce back. Cheer up.
Yes.
Fix your face.
Yes.
He didn't get upset that he didn't have any socks on when he put on his shoes. What kid does?
Yes.
They don't worry about those things. Mm-hmm. Let's not think of the negative.
Yes.
Let's look at the positive and not worry about it.
And not create drama, because that's what we do.
Yes.
That one statement of what is going to happen, how is it going to work out, we already know that is what creates the turmoil.
Yes.
Not the situation itself.
How many times have you been in situations where one person tells another person, tells another person, tells another person, and instead of it being a small problem, it's now got 5 or 6 different inputs that have created it to be a monstrous problem.
Yes.
Well, what about if this happens? Well, what about if this happens? And it just keeps growing and growing and growing, all the what ifs. Mm-hmm. Well, what if we just get through it?
Yeah.
What if we just get through it? What if everything just turns out fine?
Yes.
What about that?
Yes. And so we know now what resilience is. Mm-hmm. We know what it looks like. Mm-hmm. We know how to avoid it. Mm-hmm. And now, can we have a quote?
Yes, we can. This one was by Maya Angelou.
Mm.
And I really love her writing. And she said, I can be changed by what happens to me, but I refuse to be reduced by it.
Oh, reduced by it. I love
So in the resilience,
Mm-hmm.
it can change
Mm-hmm.
things that are going on, but don't let it reduce you.
No.
Don't let it upset you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let it overturn whatever it is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Take it, be positive about it,
Mm-hmm.
smile, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Can you be resilient?
We hope you can. And we hope you visit us every week on Thursdays with our streaming podcast. Let's talk about it.
See you next week and bring a friend.
And subscribe. Please subscribe. Thank you.
Rewind the track, yeah.